Hey there, Scorpio, and welcome to your week of January 10th, 2021 general tarot reading. We're going to be looking at your, wow, that's awesome. We're going to be looking at your energy, which is looking good coming into this week. Over here on the left, in the center, we're going to be looking at some potential challenges for you as well. Over on the right, we're going to be looking at some potential outcome cards for you too. We're going to get a little more details on all these cards by clarifying them with a few more cards later on in the video, and we're going to tie everything off with an oracle card at the end. So you're going to want to stick around to see your full message for that, even if some of it doesn't resonate with you. And speaking of resonating, if it resonates with you, that's great, that's awesome. But if it doesn't resonate with you, it's just not part of your message. So don't try to make something fit that doesn't. But without further ado, let's get in. Your energy is looking awesome this week here, Scorpio, because we got the Nine of Cups, the Death card, and the Eight of Pentacles. The Death card is your card, Scorpio. So when you come up in your own reading, that's a very strong message if you're new to tarot. So you're coming in really powerful here this week. I also want to make note of the Eight of Pentacles because all three water signs have had the Eight of Pentacles in their reading this week, and all three of them have had it in their energy. So something in the water here. You guys are working very hard. So yeah, you're quite strong. You're working very hard at this time. And I feel like you're taking great pride in what you're doing too with the Nine of Cups, because the Nine of Cups is all about satisfaction. It's all about being fulfilled and satisfied with what you're doing in your life. I like that too with the Nine of Cups as well, is because the Nine of Cups, in a more of a romantic sense, when you have two people with Nine of Cups energy come together, you get Ten of Cups, which is your dream life, right? So that's very good. That's awesome for you single Scorpios out there. So I like that a lot. So you're coming in very strong, very powerful, very hardworking, and very satisfied with what you're doing, and at least where your life is at this time too. So I think that's really good. That's kind of like a new year, new me sort of energy. So I love that. Or well, maybe not new me, but more powerful version of me. So I'm loving it. And your challenges, we got the Two of Cups, the Eight of Swords, and the Moon. The Moon is Pisces card, so you may have Pisces in your chart. Might be dealing with a Pisces this week as well. With the Two of Cups here, interesting, like we were talking about love here a bit with the Nine of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, jumping Jehoshaphat, with the Nine of Cups. But the Two of Cups represents sort of a soulmate connection, which can be a romantic connection, of course, but soulmates can also be, you know, your best friend. They can be a significant family member that you know, like that's someone that really, you know, you get on with super, super good. And they can also be pets even. Sometimes soulmates can just be a pet, you know, like, so very interesting. So that's coming into question here a little bit. So you might be, that's on your mind, and you're maybe frustrated if you, like, romantically, if you're not having that connection, especially where you're coming in with the Nine of Cups too. So be aware of that. The Two of Cups can also represent choices, like a decision that needs to be made as well. So maybe you have some sort of decision looming for you at this time. With the Eight of Pentacles, I'm really hard on Pentacles all of a sudden. With the Eight of Swords and the Moon here, it may be something where you feel like you have no choice in the matter. Like it's like there is a choice being presented to you, but you almost feel like it's sort of like you're being forced down one path, especially with the Moon. The Moon talks about like there's this one path down the center here, which is meant to be your path that you walk. That's like unique to you. Like we're all walking our own paths in life. We're all the main characters of our own story. It may feel like with the Eight of Swords, there is only one decision, whether that be good or bad, right? There is only one choice to be made. You may feel like you don't have options. Like it's like, I don't have this or that as a decision. It's like, it has to be this because X, Y, or Z, right? So interesting. Over here in your potential outcome cards, we got this Temperance card, the Four of Pentacles, and the Five of Cups. Temperance is Sagittarius's card, so you may have Sagittarius in your chart. Might be dealing with a Sagittarius as well this week. But the Temperance card with the Five of Cups is really about flexibility and willing to see alternate avenues in not just like what you're working on or in love or something, but just in your life in general, right? With the Temperance card, you can see this angel is mixing this liquid between these two cups, sort of as to say like, hey, like I'm willing to mix and match and try to find the right balance to get the right solution for myself here. I'll make a note too as well. We have two cups upright with the Five of Cups here as well. And what this is really telling us with the Five of Cups is that this person, if they would turn around, they'd see they still have 2 cups, a perfect amount for mixing in. And there's also, more importantly, this bridge that leads to this town here in the distance. And it's to say for you, Scorpio, that if you're willing to look around and you're willing to seize opportunities around you and willing to find other ways to do things, you can still achieve what you're trying to achieve. Like, you know, maybe this choice that needs to be made, you may feel like these 3 cups, that was the choice. I had to make this choice and it's been knocked over, right? It's been taken off the table. Or maybe you feel like, oh man, if I had 2 cups, if I still had some full cups, I could still achieve something here. And you're just so focused on what you don't have, right? You need to really focus on what you do have. Like, you still have something here to be salvaged. You still have ways to achieve what you want to achieve. It just may not seem like you're getting there the way you thought you would get there. And with the Four of Pentacles, with these cards as well, the Four of Pentacles really tells you to do what other people do, right? In these situations, like, people, for the most part, you know, there are people, of course, who do just kind of give up when something doesn't work out for them. But people, for the most part, we're resilient. And we will say, you know what, that didn't work out. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try another way. I'm going to try another thing here in order to achieve what I want to achieve, right? So it's not about if you fall, it's how you rise that says who you really are, as they would say in the Queens of the Stone Age song Fortress, which I'll try to remember to leave a link to in the description if you want to give that a listen to. So let's take a look at some clarifiers for you here, Scorpio. Before we do, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you sticking it out this far with me. I appreciate all the love and support I see in the videos. I'm sending love and support out to you as well. I hope even if this isn't resonating with you, that things are going good with you and yours. As a friendly reminder, after the clarifiers, we're going to be tying everything off with an oracle card, so you're going to want to stick around for that to get your full message, because something may resonate in the tail end of this as well. So we're starting things off with your energy. We got the Magician. I'm loving that. The Six of Pentacles and the Hermit. Lots of major arcana in your reading here so far. The Magician, the Hermit, and the Six of Pentacles. The Hermit is Virgo's card, so you may have Virgo in your chart as well. But the Hermit is really about you focusing on your wishes, your things that you want to achieve. The Magician is saying we're manifesting that. We're manifesting the pathways here. You may feel like there's only one way to go, of course, Scorpio, but we are manifesting the path that you're going to take. It may not necessarily look exactly like you want it to, but it is the right path to get you from point A to point Z, or point wherever the hell you're trying to get to, right? And with the Six of Pentacles on top of this here, it's saying that you need to be balanced and you need to be fair, and you need to make sure you're putting time appropriate to where you want to put it, right? The Six of Pentacles does talk about being generous, of course, but you don't want to be so generous that you hurt yourself, right? You don't want to be so generous that you cause harm, that, you know, like in a way that, in a financial sense, you don't want to give money away and lend money away to the point that you're like, oh no, now I'm short, right? You don't want to do that. And it can go the same way with your time as well. You don't want to give time away to others. Like, you know, I want to spend time helping my friend out move or something. Or I want to spend time, you know, helping, you know, or visiting with my family or something. But don't do it so much that it affects you in a negative way as well, right? So I like that you're here. I like that you're balanced, you're fair, you're doing everything the right way, it appears. And it's just like, you know, you may just feel like you're being kind of railroaded into a particular path when there are lots of options around for you. So let's see what we got to clarify your challenges here as well. All right, Scorpio. You got the King of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. There's the Nine of Pentacles. I called for it earlier, and I've manifested it into your reading now. About the King of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands here. The Nine of Pentacles really talks about being independent and being on your own. And we're talking about maybe for some of you who may be single, that might be that might be kind of the thing you're focusing on at this time. And it might be getting like, not that you're on your own in a bad way, but you're on your own and like, now I'm starting to get lonely, you know? And, you know, maybe that's the choice you got to make. Am I going to start actively pursuing, you know, a romantic option at this time? But you might be thinking, well, I don't really have time for that, right? So I can't pursue love, right? So maybe that's the case. For others, with the Nine of Pentacles here, you may feel as though you are kind of like doing everything yourself, and you're getting sick of it. You're getting sick of like, I have to do this all on my own. I have to achieve everything on my own. I have to, put in the work. I wish I had some help, but it has to be this way. I have to do it myself. So that might also be a challenge for you. With the King of Cups here as well, I hope things aren't being too noisy. The cats are getting a little out of hand over here. But with the King of Cups here as well, I feel like you're really having some trouble. Like these raging shores, geez Louise, these raging waves here washing up against you, it may feel like they're kind of getting the best of you at this time. Maybe this is something that, pardon me, got the hiccups. All sorts of things going on here, Scorpio. But maybe that's something too is happening here. Maybe you're getting a little overwhelmed by things at this time. Maybe there's a lot going on in your life, like these waves. It might be crashing into you, and it's kind of getting the better of you when in normal circumstances that wouldn't be the case. You'd be like, yeah, whatever. Like, there's just waves. I'm not going to worry about it. But now you're feeling more like, oh, it's getting the best of me. It's wearing me down, I'm kind of like, it's kind of eroding away my tranquility here at this time. And with the Ace of Wands here as well, you might be feeling very low energy with all this. Like, you feel like, just like, how much longer is this going to keep up? How much longer is this going to be like this? Do I have to really keep making the same decision over and over again? Do I have to keep making the same choice? Maybe that's what this is, where we're talking about this Two of Cups. Maybe you keep being offered, maybe you keep being offered like help, or you keep being offered another alternative or something, but you keep taking the same decision over and over again because that's what you feel like you have to do. Like, you have to do it on your own. You have to make this decision. You have to keep doing this like this, even though there is other options out here for you. It's just you're kind of, and I'm not saying I'm immune from it either, but you kind of get a little narrow-minded, a little focused on something, almost like you can't see the forest for the trees, right? So let's take a look and see what we got clarifying your outcome cards. Hopefully this has all been resonating with you, Scorpio. Hopefully we can work you out of this. Let's see what we got. Got the Ten of Wands. I love that. The Two of Pentacles and the Four. So it's great. That's all great. The Ten of Wands is about the end of a big time concern, like a weight of the world, like this stresses and anxieties you've been experiencing. The Ten of Wands is the end of that. So I feel like this is great. It's coming soon, right? Whether you make the choice for this, like to open your eyes to kind of see like, okay, maybe I do have some options here that I didn't realize were there this entire time, or you maybe take a little more of an approach, or you see an opportunity to be seized here to get out of what's going on for you. So I like that a lot with that. With the Two of Pentacles as well, this is something that's going to be maintained for you in the future. The Two of Pentacles talks about, maintaining something almost indefinitely, kind of juggling or, spinning plates, making sure nothing hits the ground, nothing goes splat, right? So I like that because that makes me feel like you're going to be maintaining this type of energy, this type of perspective for a long, long time, which is beautiful. And with the Four of Swords here, the Four of Swords is about recovery and rest. And I feel like this is a long time coming for you here. I feel like it's almost like you've been strong for too long, Scorpio, right? Like, it's like you've had to put up a strong front of like, everything's going good, and I'm, that big, strong, independent person at this, and I've always been that way. And I feel like that's kind of coming to an end. Not necessarily you're going to become weak and powerless, but to say that you don't have to put up a front anymore, and you can do what you want to do, and you can make the choices you want to make. And if you choose to be weak at a time, that's perfectly acceptable, because we all end up being weak at some point, Scorpio. It's nothing to be ashamed of, right? That's a lot of what happens in like our culture nowadays, is people get upset because, maybe I needed some time off or something, or maybe I needed like to take a mental health day or something because it's just getting goddamn ridiculous here. Or I just need a day for myself away from everyone else, something like that. That gets looked down upon, I feel like, too much nowadays. I think it's getting better myself, but I feel like there's still that stigma a lot of the time. And I feel like with you, Scorpio, don't be ashamed. If you need a mental health day, you need a break, you need something, take it. Right? Don't be sitting here going until you break down, and then like you have to take the time off, and it's not necessarily like a healthy time off, right? It's not good like that. So we're going to look at your oracle card, tie everything off for you here, Scorpio, see what we got. Hopefully this has been helping you. Hopefully this has been resonating. And let's see what this oracle card is for you. It's the draft spirit saying, see the big picture. And that's kind of what I was talking about there, where I was talking about that breakdown, where you work so hard that you just like, I'm just driving myself to the limit. I'm just going to my wit's end all the time. And eventually just have a breakdown. I used to know this person, and they worked at a farm. Like it was like a hobby farm with them and their partner. And they worked very hard on it. And she eventually was getting to a point where I was talking to her where she was having like a bit of a breakdown. Like she was just like, I'm at my wit's end all the time. Everything's going wrong and stuff. And I'm just getting overwhelmed. And I'm like, you need to cut back a bit. You maybe need to sell off some of these animals or something, reduce your workload so that you can, you started this because you enjoyed it. It's a hobby farm, right? It's not like your bread and butter. And she said, no, these animals are so important to me. I'm going to go until something breaks. I'm like, well, what happens to them when you break down, right? Then who's going to take care of them? Because like her partner wasn't interested in it. And it's like, what are you supposed to do? Like at that point, she's like, well, I don't know. I'm like, well, you should best start thinking, because if you break down and then there's no one to take care of that kind of stuff, then what happens? They're going to be in a worse way because of that, because you're not taking care of yourself. And I feel like that's kind of a bit of an overarching message throughout this big picture for you here, Scorpio, through all of this going on, is like you need to take care of yourself as well. Like you are coming in strong, you're putting up a front, and you are working toward, well, not necessarily your front, but you are putting up that, I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm independent, I'm doing this, I'm going for it energy, which is great. I love it. But you got to be thinking about yourself as well as in the long term, right? You don't want to break down. You don't want to feel like this is all you can ever do all the time, because that's no way it should be, Scorpio. So I hope that's helped you out. I hope that's resonated with you. If you want to help out the channel, though, you can hit that like button. You can subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That helps you as well, because you can find this channel later on as I upload your videos every week, and check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign videos after this one. Thank you for being here, Scorpio, and I hope to see you in the next video.